Hello, Cowboys Nation. Welcome back to Fourth and Forever. I am JR Castillo, and Cowboys pull off a victory over the Washington Commanders, and not only did they pull off the victory, put up 45 points in the process. Let's get out. The Cowboys made it out of this game pretty much injury-free, which is always a good thing. You never want to have, you never want injuries anyway, but to get through a game that you get pretty much injury-free, great start for the Cowboys. They made some positive movements here in this game, so we're going to go through the highlights now. Let's get right to the action. We're going to start it off right here. The first highlight I want to show you is real simple. This is the definition of what's wrong with this Cowboys defense, and it's a lot of miscommunication. We're going to look at the highlight where it is currently 7-2 Dallas, 7:45 to go here in the first quarter. It's 3rd and goal. What I want you to watch is you're going to watch this linebacker here in the front. This is Kenneth Murray, who we've already discussed is the worst linebacker in the NFL. He actually does not make the mistake here. Next to him is Shamar James. He also does not make the mistake here, and I'm going to explain why as we see this play. As you go through the play, we're going to run through the play here. Daniels takes the snap. Murray does his job. He gets the chuck, and he passes off Zach Ertz. The problem is he passes off Zach Ertz to nobody. This is the constant problem the Cowboys have been making. Miscommunication. He passes off. Murray's job is to get the chuck and do the pass off, as we're going to see as the replay continues. He gets the pass off. James is playing quarterback spy. Shamar James is in a quarterback spy. This isn't his guy, but nobody else came up to cover him either. That's a miscommunication within the Cowboys defense, and that's their biggest problem right now, is they are not communicating effectively with each other. There's only so much you can do with each other. Somebody did not get the memo on what this play was. Maybe James is supposed to leave his spy. I doubt Shamar James is supposed to leave his spy. It's not what you do. If you're a quarterback spy, you are quarterback spy. You stay on the quarterback. Kenneth Murray is there, and so the Cowboys look like they might be in man. If you look through it again, and I don't know if you're going to see it again, but I'm going to look at, as I'm continue to talk about this. No, the Cowboys are in a zone. They look like a split man zone here. This may be a Kenneth Murray mistake. Doing a second thought, as I'm watching it live right here, as I'm watching it, this may be Kenneth Murray again, misplaying this. Trying to look at it. The Cowboys seem to be in a man, and Murray leaves him, and he passes him off. This is probably a Kenneth Murray mistake. The more I look at it, the more I started this off wrong. I'm thinking Kenneth Murray is passing it off, and I don't think he's supposed to pass it off because I don't see anybody else here playing zone. Everybody else seems to be in man. So again, this is a miscommunication, and who the miscommunication is seems to be between the linebackers not knowing whether they're in man or zone. And it seems to be Kenneth Murray not knowing whether he's supposed to be man in zone. And if that's the case, it just further illustrates that Kenneth Murray is the worst linebacker in football. And I didn't go into that highlight thinking he was that bad. I thought he played that well. But watching everybody else around him, I do not believe Kenneth Murray played that correctly. So I started this highlight off giving Kenneth Murray some positive, and I'm going to take it away immediately because Kenneth Murray sucked. Okay. So now we're going to get... Now I got to make sure I saw the rest of this game right. So now we're going to move along. First quarter. We're still in the first quarter. A lot of stuff happened in this game. This is a wide open game. It's now 10-8 Dallas after Brandon Aubrey hit another field goal, because that's what Brandon Aubrey does. And this is Dallas doing what Dallas loves to do. Chuck the ball. As we said, Dak's going to take the snap. Get the play action. And Dak is going to let it fly. And Dak has 2 touchdowns here, and he hits the closest one at CeeDee Lamb. It's a beautiful pass by the Cowboys. Beautiful pass by Dak. Beautiful route, and we're going to watch the route. Lamb's coming out of the slot. The play action doesn't really hold anybody, but Lamb is immediately saying, "Give it to me now! Give it to me now! Give it to me now!" He gets it, and then the Commanders take out each other. If Dak chunks that ball deep, if he goes deeper, he has CD. He has George Pickens for a touchdown too. The Cowboys had 2 touchdowns in this play. It was just who wanted it more. Dak was getting CD involved, and so CD gets that score. And the Cowboys take a bigger lead. They increase their lead. Now we're going to look at a full drive here. This is a full drive for the Cowboys right before the half. It's 20-15. This game is in doubt at this point. The Cowboys have 31 seconds. They are at their own 21-yard line. So you're looking at a 79-yard drive to get in the end zone. More realistically, if you're the Cowboys, you're thinking you need probably 25 yards to give Brendan Aubrey a shot. And that's looking at like a 72-yard field goal. 30 yards, and you're well within Brandon Aubrey range. So the Cowboys going to look at what they're going to do. And this first play right here, it's going to be 2nd and 17, so it's actually second play. Dak was sacked on the first down. This is the epitome of how sometimes injuries could be a good thing. CeeDee Lamb going down earlier in the season against Chicago would normally be a death blow for the Cowboys. But what CeeDee Lamb's injury did was make Dak Prescott become more comfortable with George Pickens in this offense. And in that time period while CD was out, with those 3 games, while CD missed, Dak realized there is one sure thing. Throw the ball near George Pickens, he's going to get you the ball. George Pickens goes and gets the football. That's what he does. And we're going to watch this play as it unfolds. We're going to watch this drive as it unfolds. Dak takes this snap, and he just chunks one up top. And Pickens beats Marshawn Lattimore and just makes the catch. And this is what George Pickens does. If you get the ball near him, he's going to get it. And look, Lattimore's in great coverage here. This is great coverage, but it's probably the best coverage Lattimore had all day. And Dak just places the ball perfectly. So you go to the next drive, next play is a handoff to Javonte Williams, and Williams just bursts through, and he takes it down to the 2-yard line. And the first person to meet him, George Pickens. George Pickens is loving this team. Absolutely loving being here. So now we go to the next play on the drive. Dak takes the snap. And good old Fergie. Ferg just cops in the end zone. Sits down in the empty spot. Touchdown. Cowboys take another touchdown. They increase their lead before the half. I don't know what you call that dance there, but this is a perfect route by Ferguson. He goes right to where the open zone is. He just sits into it, and Dak finds him. This combination, this offense is incredibly good. So now we're going to move on. And this is where the game gets out of hand. The Commanders get their first drive coming out of the half. And they're getting movement. They're driving the football. And This goes down to one of the things Dallas changed this week, and I want to talk about it a little bit more in a minute after the highlights. Dallas made fundamental changes that we'll see they carry on. They're easy to do against the Commanders, and we'll discuss that here in a minute. But in this play, Dallas brings a blitz, and Dallas does not blitz very much. And on this play, we're going to take the highlight. Jaden Daniels will take the snap. Shamar James comes in untouched. Hits the football, forces the fumble. Jaden Daniels gets hurt in the process. Jadeveon Clowney recovers the fumble, and the Cowboys now have the football. But it's just a beautiful time blitz by Shamar James, the rookie, and the Cowboys create a much-needed turnover. And this is what I said before the game in my keys of the game. The defense needs to do something. You have to add something to the table. Bring something to the table, because it can't just be the offense doing everything. And right there is the chance for the Cowboys. They force the turnover. And now there's a chance for them to just put this game out of reach. And in the ensuing drive, this play I'm throwing in here because this is something the Cowboys have not had. And this is explosiveness from their running back. The move Javonte Williams does here is something the Cowboys have not had since prime Ezekiel Elliott. And it seems like it wasn't that long ago, but we're talking almost 10 years, 7, 8 years since prime Elliott. Those first 2 or 3 years of Elliott's career before Dallas just ran his legs into the ground was just absolute prime. And now we're going to get to here. So we're going to look at this play. Tolbert comes into motion. Dak's going to take the snap. He's going to hand it. And then Javonte Williams with just a smooth stop cut, jump to the outside. Beautiful blocking downfield by George Pickens. You get to say that name a lot. And that's just a clean run, but it's something Dallas has not had. And when you add that to this incredible passing game, this offense is amazing. And we go Dallas here with looking to put some icing on the cake here. And this is where I go when you have to bleed. When I said in the preview episode, you bleed the running game into the passing game, and I've said that multiple episodes in a row, multiple previews, is the Cowboys need to bleed the running game into the passing game. And the way you do that is play action. I want you to watch the Commanders up front here. Watch all these linebackers on the front, the cell secondary, everybody that's not on direct line of scrimmage. They will bite on this play action. We're going to run the play. They all bite to the left. Dak just takes a little stroll to the right, tosses it to Fergie. Fergie with the touchdown, and I don't know what this stance is. It's beyond my understanding, but it's the groove the Cowboys in. The way he bleeds everybody to the left. They all smoke to the left just a little bit. They all float to that left just a hair, and just enough to get Fergie wide open. And while they keep leaving Fergie open, I don't know. The guy's leading the league in touchdowns from a tight end. So it's beyond my understanding. And then just for the nice little, let's hit that 40 burger on you. This is what Dallas has been wanting to see. Cornerbacks making plays. And this play gets made a lot by the pressure up front by the Cowboys line. They finally they get some pressure. And this is what happens when you get pressure. When you get pressure, quarterbacks tend to make mistakes. Especially not good quarterbacks. And in this case, you got Marcus Mariota is in for the injured Jaden Daniels. And he makes a stupid play. You see the Cowboys get pressure. They bring 5 on the blitz. They bring 4 on the blitz. Odigizua gets there. Kenny Clark gets there. A lot of people get there. Mariota just chunks it up, and Mr. Pick Six himself, Deron Bland, takes the ball, takes it to the house. Cowboys score a touchdown. Cowboys get the 40 burger. They add another 3 later on in the game, and the Cowboys take a victory over the Washington Commanders. So let's talk about where this team is at right now. And I want to get that in here for this game. This Cowboys team has a scary offense. It's incredibly scary. It's scary because it's one of the best I've ever seen. This offense rivals the greatest show on turf, Rams, in the late 90s, early 2000s. This rivals the New Orleans Saints team that won the Super Bowl against Peyton Manning and the Colts. And the two things that those two teams had in common is their defense wasn't great. It wasn't top of the line defense. Now the Cowboys have statistically the worst defense in football. And that's where we are right now. If the Cowboys can just not be the worst defense in football, they can be special. They have that type of offense. They have a special offense. And I am imploring Dallas. I am imploring Jerry Jones. I was on team save your picks. You have all these draft picks, and I was gung-ho. Save these picks. Don't waste it on this season, which seems lost. Well, this season's not lost because you have Dak Prescott as an MVP level candidate. He's playing MVP. He's probably the best quarterback in football right now. You have the best offense in football right now. You have one of the best running games in the football right now. The best receiving core in football right now. Do not waste this opportunity on the chance that you can bring it all back next year and then improve in the draft and improve in the offseason. You have picks right now. Now, I'm not saying you go and spend all these Packer picks that you got, both for the first rounders. I'm not saying you trade 2 first rounders. If the right player's available, Max Crosby, you do give a first. But the seconds, the thirds, the fourths, you have a lot of compensatory picks coming later that will be decided after the season. There are multiple picks that you have to use, and you have to do it. The Cowboys have to go make some sort of move. Just the defense can't be the worst. That's all they need to do. They don't have to be the best. They don't have to go from 32nd to 1st. Raise it from 32nd to 25th. This team can win a Super Bowl. They are that good offensively. You cannot continue. You don't waste it because you cannot bank on this happening again. When you have special, you capitalize on special, because if you bank on it happening again next season and say we're going to build through the draft and we're going to build through free agency and we're going to do it that way, and then what happens first day of training camp next year? Dak takes a wrong step, tears his Achilles tendon, and you done wasted another opportunity. You're not going to get too many more of these opportunities with Dak Prescott. He is 34 years old. That is, I mean, yeah, in today's day and age, it's not the oldest for quarterback. Quarterbacks play into their 40s all the time. Dak's injury, with the type of injuries Dak has had, 40 doesn't seem like that's going to happen. I must be honest with you. I'm the biggest Dak supporter that there is. I've been Team Dak since day one. But with the injuries he's had, with the ankle injuries he's had, with the leg injuries he's had, you're probably not making it to your 40s as an NFL quarterback. Which means you probably have 3 or 4 years here. You have to maximize every single one of them. And the Cowboys have a chance. They have a chance to maximize this by going out and making a move. They have the picks and the ammunition to make a move to make this team better. And that should be the goal. You should be trying to make it better. They have to do something. I'm not saying you have to move the world. I'm not saying you have to go and steal the moon from somebody. You don't even have to go and get the best player available. I would love to go get Max Crosby from the Raiders. Maybe the Raiders don't want to move him. Trey Hendrickson from the Bengals. Maybe they don't want to move him. Maybe that price is too high. Maybe multiple firsts is that price. That's too high. But there are players available. Bradley Chubb with Miami. Jalen Phillips with Miami. Boye Mafe in Seattle. There are players. Kingsley Enabarge from the Green Bay Packers. Yeah, we already don't like dealing with the Packers, but hey, might as well, right? There are players available that help this team. They need a defense, they need a pass rusher, and they need a linebacker. If you can get a safety too, that'd be great. If anything I can see less of Donovan Wilson back there, love it. But I'm not going to be greedy and be like, oh, I got to get all these positions, because you don't have to get all of them. It'd be great if you get all of them. It's great if you can increase the talent level you have at every position. But it doesn't have to be. It does not have to be at every position. But it has to be at edge rush. It has to be at linebacker. You have to make it just a little bit better. And I'm not, again, like I said, you don't have to go from 32nd to 1st, go 32nd to 25th. That's a huge jump. That's a huge level of talent. If they make the defense good enough to where it can make one stop, make that one play, I am confident enough in this offense that they will win more football games than they lose. They have a chance to be special. Do not pass up being special over greediness. Do not pass up being special over complacency. We've been complacent for too long. It's been too long and you're too complacent. Now's the time to strike. Do not give up something special. And with that, I'm going to drop a little bit right there. I'm going to leave it at that. I think we'll get deeper into that discussion and what that means at the bye week. We have 2 more games for the bye. We have the Broncos coming up on Sunday. And then we have the Arizona Cardinals the following Monday. Then you have the bye week, and the trade deadline is at the end of that. So during the bye week after the Cardinals game, I'll probably just get more into that, and that's when you get real more passion and more everything about that. But I wanted to get that out here now because I've seen enough through these games so far to know special when I see it, and there's a specialness to this team, and the Cowboys have got to act on it. But until then, it's always great to beat the Commanders. To hell with that team. Whether the Commanders, the Redskins, the football team, whatever you want to call them, to hell with them. Like seeing them lose. Like it even more when it's us doing it. Now let's figure out how to beat the Broncos, because we ain't done that in about 30 years. So I had the actual date the last time beat them on that episode. But until then, let's enjoy the couple days to celebrate beating the Commanders. Let's go, Cowboys. Let's keep it rolling.